Welcome back to Ghosting with Anya. I'm your host, Anya Smith, also an author of Anya's Ghost Story Volume 1 book. Yesterday, sorry that I didn't finish doing these questions from yesterday's episode, the 42nd episode, but I had other shit going on. Fearless needed some stuff going on, like go to, I don't know, run some errands probably. We were gonna go get lunch, but we were all in a hurry. I mean, I went home and had lunch, and then Fearless had other stuff going on. So today we'll be doing the new episode. Today's story is The Shadow in the Classroom. That's the new story, and this time I'll be doing all the questions because yesterday I didn't have time to do all of them. So today we will do more questions instead of just one. So before we get started, I want to say thank you for tuning in, and please click like, share, and subscribe. Halloween is here. Today is October and it's finally here, but Halloween is on October 31st. So we have about 30 days until the actual Halloween. But who knows? Anyway, yes. So what are you guys doing for Halloween? Are you guys going trick-or-treating, staying home, and or like are you having a party? I'm going to like the pumpkin patch actually soon, like in October, probably on the 31st. Also, I am going out for a concert. I was gonna go see my cousin-in-law to perform with his thing, but someone didn't have any clearance for the bar or whatever, but they were gonna have a party, but apparently someone shut it down, so I never had the chance to go and see my boyfriend's cousin to perform. But I am actually going to see the concert sometime like on October 6th. The band is already on their way, and it's actually the Jonas Brothers. I cannot wait to go see them in person. Maybe if I had a chance, I would probably, I don't know, talk to them somehow. But I know they know my sister because my sister is literally doing what she's normally doing. So anyway, let's get started on the story. So just sit back, relax, and listen to the story and every word I read of the sentence. And just be cautious. I don't talk that fast unless you guys want me to, but I'm not. This is my regular voice, and I can do it only like a bit clear and medium fast, but I'm not actually gonna go extremely fast. But if you don't understand it, but that's okay. I'm not gonna go too fast. So anyway, just sit back, click like, share, and subscribe, and let's get started on this story. Just want to say happy Halloween to everyone who's watching this show live, and thanks for your support. And please check out my friend's video on YouTube. It's called Reading with Fearless. It's on YouTube. You can check it out. Just type it and It will be right there on his description. If you like his videos, you can check it out. If you like mine a lot more, you can subscribe to my channel, Ghosting with Anya. My name is Anya Smith. My name is right there in the front on the left side. So, anyway, just stay safe and stay spooky, but more likely just stay safe. And happy Halloween. Let's get started. Mr. Lewis often stayed late grading papers. One night, he noticed a shadow on the chalkboard that didn't match anything in the room. When he erased the board, the shadow smeared but didn't disappear. He turned off the lights, thinking it was a trick of the lamps, but the shadow grew sharper in the dark. It looked like a child, head tilted, standing in the corner. Well, that's scary. Children are afraid of the dark, probably, but hey, spirits of the dead, spirits of the little children who died centuries before us. So let's continue. When he called out, the shadow ran across the wall, its hands dragging long black streaks across the plaster. It disappeared into the ceiling vents, leaving the room reeking of chalk and dust. Wow. I would want to investigate it, but never run away. The reason why I wrote my book about it is to get more excitement. Instead of me running away from danger, like running away from it, I actually run towards it to my investigations. This is an amazing thing to do, so let's keep going. The next day, one of his students asked why there was a kid crying in the supply closet. No one else heard it, but the shadow had returned, now lurking behind the door waiting. Oh man. Something to do with kids or a shadow's, I don't know, shape-shifting into some kind of child, maybe? Wow. Seriously, this is so fucked up, but hey, if it was me at school, I would be like going even deeper. But hey, let's go with the questions. Yesterday, I didn't do all those questions because I was in a hurry. I was going to go out for lunch with my friend, but, things change, but plans change. But we can always come back for it. So today, I'm going out for lunch with my friend. I just got paid this morning. So right now, it's 4 minutes after 12, which means my boyfriend is already having his lunch. So, yeah. So let's go with the questions now. Question number 1. Why does the shadow remain even when light is gone? I'm guessing the shadow is somehow attached to the school, to the room where somehow died. So, yeah. I think maybe there is a spirit of a student maybe had passed away in the classroom, like decades before new students end up going to the school, like where it happened. But my guess is that the teacher who was grading papers that night somehow was chosen, but I think maybe somehow the teacher, I don't know, was shocked when it saw the shadow, usually some teachers don't believe in this stuff. Most of them do, but this teacher probably is scared to death or doesn't know that the shadow is, I don't know, watching him. Maybe it's a spirit of a little boy or girl who died in that school hundreds of years back. Maybe sometime in 1900s, like early 20th century, or maybe 19th century. I don't know, but it could have been a child who died. A child would have been like 8 or 9 years old, went to that school in the late 1800s to early 1900s somehow. Perhaps that child died because someone hurt him once. I'm guessing that the teacher who was grading papers is from the 21st century, like right now, in the year 2025, or it could have been early 2010s, somewhere around there. But anyway, the teacher has no idea what's happening. So Lewis, that was the teacher's name, Mr. Lewis. He has no idea what's going on. So that's why maybe he wants to have a background, like investigation of the school, how it all started for him, maybe like who went to that school and what other teachers would look like in the past. Mr. Lewis probably needs to do some backgrounds, like investigations, like go to search and find out about the school and about the shadow that lurks around at night in the hallways and the classrooms. Perhaps, maybe it was the little boy who died. We don't know, especially the name of a boy. So let's go to number 2. Could it be the spirit of a child or something darker? I think it might be both. It could be something darker. It could be a child, or it could be something demonic. I think it's both. Maybe a spirit of a little boy who perhaps died in school, maybe drowned in a pool, I think. I'm not sure, but I think it's something darker besides the child. Maybe the child doesn't know it's dead, or somehow the darker demonic spirit is pretending to be a little boy, or it just wants to get rid of the kids who are still alive and the teachers and the school boards and the principals, apparently. It just thinks that maybe the school belonged to the darker demonic thing. But I think it might be something darker. But if it was me, I would want to go investigate, go even deeper than that. But I'm not there, so we'll have to go and figure it out. But if I went to investigation schools like that, I'll have to have someone come with me so we can both go and figure it out what that is. What does chalk symbolize here? It's a chalkboard, like an actual chalk. It's like a cementy crayon thing that teachers use to write on a chalkboard, like doing math or geology or biology or some kind of biology if they're doing some kind of mathematics thing. Teachers write stuff on the chalkboards. I had teachers who were writing on blackboards with markers or on the whiteboards with markers. Some schools had blackboards with the chalkboards. Centuries ago, they only did that with chalkboards because it was the only thing they had before the modern world, like the modern era. I had teachers who were writing things on whiteboards with markers. It would be easier. And students had their papers and pens or pencils. That's what they did. So when I was in school, I had to use my pencil to write notes or whatever, but to study or to listen to a teacher, what they were talking about, and write stuff on the whiteboards with markers. I have been into school in 20 years. Last time I went to school was 2008, and I graduated that year and stayed an extra year to find an actual job. But finally, when I graduated, I never went back to school since then. So it's now a church. My high school is Kearney High School, but it's a church now. We have a new high school on the main roads where the Yanni Park is. And it's a lot bigger. They have a swimming pool. And right across the street from that school is another college. But I never went to college, so what's the point? I'm never going back to school unless it's a reunion. But I never went to my reunion. I went to a church where we had a funeral for my friend years ago. But it symbolizes for the chalkboards and chalks is like a memory. And it's a spirit, but it's a memory where students remember what it would look like if we still had chalks and chalkboards in the 19th century. It's a memory. We would remember everything, but some are not. So let's go to number 4. Why would the student hear the crying but not others? Perhaps the student who can hear the crying of a child is because that person, that student, is a very special person. Extraordinary, like maybe different, but good different. It's probably because that child, the student who goes to the school, is probably a psychic, like a medium. I'm thinking like a ghost whisperer or something. Perhaps that student inherited from his or her mother or father, or grandmother, the psychic ability thing. Only one person who can hear the spirit of a little boy or girl crying because they are extraordinary, not ordinary people. Perhaps they were born with these powers, and perhaps other kids don't know what it's like, to have these powers, and they can't control it. They don't know how to handle it because they're scared. That shadow probably might be a little boy, or it's pretending to be a little boy. And that student somehow might be a special person, unique. Maybe it was chosen, just like a teacher, perhaps, but it happens. How do shadows act as memories? Because how they react is because they are just memories, but they don't know they're dead because they are reliving their deaths, how they died, because it's a memory before bad things started happening. The shadows are like spirits, and they are spirits of children, maybe, or adults, and they act as memories because the only thing they remember last thing was whoever they saw was the last person before they died. They are still in shock. They think they might still be alive because they think it's still 1800s, and they don't know that the world has changed for the last over 196 years, probably. And perhaps they think it's still 18 something, like 1892 maybe. So that's why they think it's a memory, because they don't know what happened to them. Their memories are blocked. That's why it's foggy. They don't know what's going on, and they are still somehow think they might be alive, and the last thing they remember is when they were happy and they were, having a great time learning at school, or somehow the child doesn't remember how he or she passed away. The memories can be very foggy and altered, but this child just remembers nothing, but some remembers the last thing they were happy is when they had a birthday party or whatever they did before they died. All right. Should Mr. Lewis confront the shadow or abandon the classroom? Well, that's a good question. I think Mr. Lewis should confront the shadow, be brave, tell the shadow that school doesn't belong to him or her anymore because that shadow is no longer alive. It's a ghost, and that ghost is literally no longer alive. He thinks he's alive, but he's not. But Mr. Lewis needs to tell that spirit that he or she needs to move on. It's no longer his room. It's no longer his world. The time is changed, like moved on. Everything is different now. They live in the 21st century, but the shadow died in the, 19th century, apparently, or early 20th century somehow. That shadow has no idea how to move on, needs closure, but the teacher is afraid, but he needs to be very brave and find out how to confront the person who died. I think he needs to face his fears and also confront it, like help move on. Even the student would somehow help the shadow to confront its fears, but the teacher and the student both needs to confront the spirit, help it move on, but they're too afraid. But they need to face their fears and be very brave and try not to freak out. Call a psychic medium, or if they actually are, they need to actually face their fears and keep going until the spirit finally listens to them and go into the light. If it was me, I would have to confront it. I'll have to be very brave. Keep it together. I probably would. So let's go to the last one before I sign off. How do schools hold on to lingering energy? Well, that's a good question. How do schools hold on to lingering energy? But I think they can pull it together. How can they? They can be very brave. Schools are supposed to be very safe, but hi, Chris. How are you doing? I'm on the last question right now, so let me ask you this, Chris. How do schools hold on to lingering energy? Let me know in the comments. For me, I think they should just let go of the energy and move on and help those energies. Perhaps maybe they hold on to the energy so tightly so it wouldn't lose the energy. Like some schools can be very creepy, some are actually nice, but here's what he says. Lots of practice holding on to things. That is so true. It's practice. That's exactly what schools need to do. Practice, and they need to practice be brave. My school can be very creepy, but hey, I've known a student in my school that passed away in 2005. He was a senior in high school, and he literally got in a car accident, and he was gonna graduate, but he never had a chance because he passed away. And every time I go on the hallways, I could feel his presence. Okay, I had a classmate who died, not at school, during school hours. He died on a Saturday night, and he never had the chance to go back to school and graduate. So the classmate I had at my school was Todd Becker. I'm not gonna, cry anything right now because I didn't know him that well, because I never had a chance to talk to him. He was a good guy, but he was a jock, okay? His parents, well, I'm not gonna tell their names because I don't know their names. I never met his parents. So, yeah, he is no longer in the physical world, but he's in the spirit world. He's probably listening every word I'm saying right now, even though he's not with me, because I never spoke to him. I never literally, hung out with him. So, yeah, a lot of spirits who are in that school probably used to be an orphanage before it became a school. Or maybe that school is over a few hundred years old, but perhaps there's a lot of spirits in that school are trapped and literally, don't know how to move on, can't find the light because something demonic is keeping them in that school. But so my boyfriend just said that he just had lunch. Yeah, I know. I'm going to have some lunch here soon. I'm about to run out of time here, so anyway, sorry, my phone just fell, but it's fine. It is 12:25 right now. Anyway, yeah. So, if I still went to school, I would probably have to confront the spirit of my classmate. But, I mean, if I spoke to him, I would tell him, please don't go out there. You never know what could happen to you down there, out there with your friends. And if you stayed home, you would be safe. You would graduate high school and have a good life. But I never spoke to him. So if he came to me somehow, he would probably be okay. He would probably find a closure. Apparently, he's still lingering around where I went to school, where I lived. And if I knew him that well, I would probably tell him everything's gonna be okay and you're safe, hopefully, and I think it's time for you to move on, and there is nothing but good up there in the light. You can go in, everything will be fine. But hey, he never came to me when he died. He never did. Because I didn't believe in spirits back then. I didn't have the gift. So now I do. Anyway, we are out of time. So next week we'll be doing The Man at the Bus Stop. That is on chapter 44. So I want to thank you for tuning in. Chris, I want to thank you for participating and on this channel. And I will see you later in 4 hours. So I just want to say, please click like, share, and subscribe, and please support this channel. And this is a real job, and you get paid for this. So anyway, if anyone has any questions about how to get rid of the spirits, here's what you should do. You should call a psychic medium, or you can search for a psychic medium and ask them if they can help you, how to help a spirit move on into the light. Like, figure out what happened to that person and how to get closure for them and justice. Literally. So we out of time, and I want to say thank you for listening everything. And it's Halloween, it's getting there, and let's just get whatever you need. So anyway, just want to say thanks, and please click like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week on episode 44. The Man at the Bus Stop. So that is our next episode for it. Please stay safe. Click like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. And happy Halloween. Stay safe and stay spooky. Bye, everybody.